Yo, what up? I am Deuce. Another episode of Redzone In the Lab podcast. Today, we're gonna talk about some interviews, some press conferences. You got the Jayden Daniels interview with Night Cap. We'll talk a little bit about that. Drake Maye was on a podcast, had some interesting thoughts. Today, JJ McCarthy was on with Adam Schefter. We could talk a little bit about Aiyuk in the draft, and where we are as a fan base, and what does all this stuff means, especially when we're talking about interviews and what people say and trying to dissect what they say for one way or for another way. We're gonna get into all that, man. Anybody in the comments want to throw some questions up? Go ahead, throw them up. We're gonna discuss them on the other side of this. Let's get into it. It's draft week.
Shout out Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's Benjamin St. Jude's, DB for the Washington Commanders. I want to give a big shout out to Redzone In the Lab podcast.
Yo, what up? This is Redzone In the Lab podcast. I am Deuce. Welcome to another episode of Redzone In the Lab. And already we got people in the comments. What's up, Yam? What's going on? How you doing? Utah in the building. Was good. Chuck, what's up, man? Carlton, what's good, brother? In the gym, listen, couldn't miss this one. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Outlaw, what is good? Outlaw said, I heard the Raiders are trying to trade up to 2, but they got denied. Yeah, man, it's a spicy week leading up to the draft. Got a couple more days, man. It's crazy. Key, what's up? And I definitely appreciate all of you stuck in with us over the weekend, all the way up to last night with our mock draft charity competition. It was definitely a hit. We definitely grew from last year. Last year, we only have 12 participants in one league. This year, we had 32 with 4 leagues. That was crazy. We just doing all we can to support our fellow commanders, Adam, Aniba, and his wife that's going through, she's going through stage 4 cancer. So we just there to kind of support them, just to give them, a little something. Most of all, our prayers go out to them. So we're looking to do that every year, but glad to get back into the specific football talk. And we back. Like I said, we're going to be here for 2 straight weeks. We're here for 2 straight weeks starting this past Saturday, talking about leading up to the draft, talking about our draft picks every day. It's going to be one of our podcasters that's going to be coming to you with some information. Key, what's going on, Key? How you feeling? Jeff, what's going on? Yes, much love to Adam and his wife. But what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? Let's start off with Aiyuk. My fellow Commander fans, co-hosts of Take Command podcast, my buddy Caleb. We had a discussion earlier about Aiyuk and others. About the notion of, are we ready? Like, are we in a mode to contend for whatever, right? Division, playoffs, championship. Are we in that build as of right now? To be making moves that normally we would think are moves that's made for teams that have Super Bowl aspirations. And this is how I feel about it. What's up, Keek? Northern Cali. What's good, man? We got a few Commander fans that I know over on the West Coast. I know Cody is in here. He's in Utah. A few others are over there. So definitely welcome. Glad you can join us, man. What's up, Teddy? How you feeling? 2 days, man. Yeah, man. We can't wait. We can't wait. But this is the thing when I think about Aiyuk and where we are as a team and what my expectations are. I'm going to go back a little bit to, Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Carson Wentz, Eric Bieniemy, and Sam Howell. My expectations coming into those seasons was high to the point where I thought we can compete, win X amount of games, because based off of the previous year, what it looked like is we got better, right? Either it was coaching or either it was players. We got better. So that tells me that we're going to win X amount of games. Like we do floors and ceilings, 9, ceiling 10, whatever the case may be, right? So I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson from those years. I'm not doing that no more. As a fan, as a content creator, whatever, I'm not doing that anymore. Like I'm not predicting wins and losses. I'm not predicting scheme fits. I'm not predicting any of that in the offseason until I actually see the product on the field. Right. So week 1, we will actually see what the product looked like in its early stages, not even really preseason, because preseason you can't like really judge too much because they don't do too much in preseason games. A lot of teams don't play their core players. If they do, it's not a lot. I got some news by my cousin. All right, some good news about my cousin. I know a lot of you have been following about my cousin, but I just got some good news that, with his therapy from having a stroke, today was the first day they was able to get him up and sit him on the side of his bed. He's still not coherent. Everything's still not connected from the stroke. It's slowly getting better, but I'm just extremely excited. He sat on the side of the bed. They was able to help him sit him up on the side of the bed for 8 minutes. So, oh man, I'm definitely, oh man, that's definitely exciting, man. Jesus is great. What's up, Kurt? Dudes, I'm ready for the final exam, the draft. Scouts, what's good, man? What's good? So yeah, so a lot of things don't happen in the preseason. Some players don't play, the vets kind of sit, this, and that. So you really can't judge a scheme. You really can't judge the players, gelling together. Because even in practice, like practices is probably not even 65% max when they're at their max. They're probably not going 65%. I think the biggest tell is the joint practices. Like I think the joint practices are so important, so important, because the practices is where it's another helmet on the other side. You're going more than 65%. You might not be going 100, but you're going close to 80, 85% to really see what you have. Like they have one-on-one drills that they do, all of those different sorts of things. So I think that's so important to have those joint practices where you really can see and where the separation begins to come about with a lot of the players, especially on the back end of the roster. That's right, Chuck. Yeah, we give thanks. What's up, Dustin? What's good, man? Dustin had us rolling on a pod the other night, man, in the charity draft. Definitely appreciate you. But yeah, so when it comes to that, right, I'm going to wait to week 1, right? I'm not going to have a prediction for week 1, and I'll probably end up doing a prediction just because. But, I don't want to do a prediction because I don't know what the team is. Like, I thought this team was going to be this, and that's these last few years, and they were not. Like, they were the total opposite. So I'm going to give myself time to see the team week 1, right? And off of week 1, how they perform, I will have a better idea of the scheme, of the fit, quarterback play, all of those other different types of things, and say, okay, so going into week 2, based off what I saw from my team the previous week, based off what I saw from our competition the previous week, I can then make a prediction on what I would think, because I have a better idea of who they are. Of course, it'll change the further you go into the season, right? The more these guys play with each other, the more the coaches are comfortable opening up the playbooks on both sides of the ball more and more they are trusting each other, going through some adversity, things happen in the NFL, wins, losses, locker room, like all different types of things happen, and teams get better, teams get worse as the season progresses. So it gives me a more of a better idea of who they are, right? Because it's the first year for everything. Right, new scheme, new players, new coach, new all this. It's new for everybody, and this is not the approach for every team in the NFL, right? Because most teams didn't fire their coaches, so they know what their scheme is, they know what their players are, so it's easier to predict those things because you kind of know what it is from the previous year, even though like a lot of things change as far as personnel with other teams, but just based on our teams, yeah, no problem, bruh. Look, yeah, excited for JD5. Deuce on the fence. Yeah, I am on the fence. But that's where we are. So when it comes to the moves we've made in the off seasons and what the coaches have said, what the GM have said, Adam Peters have said about this team and where we are, my expectations is always to be great, right? My expectations is to win. My expectations is to compete harder than the other team to give us a chance to win. Those are always my expectations. But in years past, I didn't like I didn't have like a caveat to that, right? And I didn't have context. I'll say context. I didn't have context to that because that's just what it was. Like, I'm expecting for you all to win 9 games, so that's where my expectations are. But for me, moving on, I'm expecting for them to win, compete, win a division, the playoffs. Like, I'm expecting that, but I have the understanding and I have the patience with this team to say there are so many factors that matter in getting to this point, right? And winning a football game, right? Scheme, opponent, weather, coaching, days rest, Monday night, Sunday afternoon, like all there are so many factors that goes into winning a football game. So I understand that. So with me having that understanding, it's okay for me to say, you know what? I expect for us to win. I expect for us to compete. I expect for us to be great. But just knowing that so much goes into that it might not happen. But as long as the goal is to get there, like my mindset is to get there. My mindset is to be great. But I understand some other things might come along. Like, I'm preparing to be great. Like, all of my preparation all week is for me to win. That's what I'm prepping for me to win, for me to compete. But like, that's where I am when it comes to this team and looking forward. The number one thing is to compete. If I understand that they're competing and the goal is to win, even though they might, like, everyone's goal is to win. You compete to get there, but everyone can't win, right? Everyone can't win. So as long as this team is competing and their mindset is to win, and I can see that on the field, even though the score might not be in our favor at the end of the game, I am, especially in year 1, I am okay, right? I'm content with that, right? Because I understand this is the NFL. It's very hard to win a game. What's up, Chatter Bob? Right. So that's my that's where I am when it comes to like this team and expectations and all those different types of things. I believe you can have expectations. Now, if you want to be like, look, we going to win 10 games based off off of what's on paper, based off of the roster is better, the coaches is better, blah 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 blah. We should win 10 games. That's fine. Like I don't have no problem with you doing it. That's fine. But if you're on the flip side to say, you know what, we only going to win 4 games, this, and that. Okay, cool. Like I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to look at anybody's fandom with a side eye. Like you fan how you want to fan. But I just say like don't put your expectations in losing, right? Like we're not signing players to lose. We're not signing players to look at this upcoming year as a rebuild year or a year to create a foundation. Even though the foundation should be laid, my goal is not just a foundation, right? My goal is to win. And a lot of our moves is all season, is a lot of 1-year deals, a lot of 2-year deals that have outs. We have a few multi-year contracts, well, not a few, maybe 3 multi-year deals. So this team is not like they're locking people up for the future because they need to know who they are moving forward, which is fine. I get it. I understand it. And, we have 6 picks in the top 100, right? But every year we're going to have to develop players. Every year, this year coming in, we're going to have to develop players. Next year is another draft. We're going to have to develop players, right? We need to find who these core players are. And we might not have none this year, to be honest, and we might have a few. But my whole thing is, we're looking, a lot of fans are looking at this season because it's a new regime, because we flipped like the majority of the roster, that we're automatically in a tier of teams that's not looking to compete. When I say compete, winning division in the playoffs, to compete. But out of the, when it's all said and done, like the plus 25 players that we've signed and re-signed and drafted, out of those 25, we didn't get 10 of those that hit. And I mean hit as in, top half of the league hit at their respective positions. Then we having a whole different conversation come week 6 or 7. Right. So that's why for me, man, like I'm not doing the I'm waiting to see what it looks like on the field. Right. I'm waiting to see what it looks like on the field because I don't know. Like, right. I mean, we could our 6 draft picks before top 100, we could hit on every single one of them. And we having a different conversation. And I understand history tells me that that's not going to be the case. And I understand that and I respect history. But again, history is made every day. And why can't it be us? Right? What's the new slogan? What is it? Hold on. What's the new slogan, man? We always got these catchy slogans every off season. And I definitely just said EBs, but hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here you go. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. What's up, Dustin? What it do, buddy? Yep, hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button for me. Share, put it out there. Hit that like button. All right, so that brings all of us to Aiyuk. And let me make this clear. I do not believe that we're going to trade for Aiyuk, right? I just don't. Yep, history is made every day. It's a 3-word slogan. Yep. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. Let me make this clear. I do not believe that we're going to trade for Brandon Aiyuk. But if the possibility comes up, then why not? Right? But let's go over some of the reasons why some people believe that we shouldn't even be in that conversation, right? One of it is money, right? He's going to be playing on his 5th-year option. And he's in his prime, right? I think he had less than 100 catches over like 1,300 yards last year, which is crazy. So he's going to demand some money, right? Um, I look at Devonta Smith extension that he got, which is like 3 years, 71 million, something like that. Which pushes it around 25 million a year. You might, be 26, 27, something like that. But 51 million, that 71 was guaranteed. So that's cash. That's guaranteed money. That's not part of the cap. You know what I mean? So, but over the next 3 years, only 24 million of that is cap. So I think 1 year was like 11, and one was like 8 or 9, and whatever was left was the next number. So when we think about the actual cap, 11 million for Brandon Aiyuk, 23 million for Terry, and Jahan getting like 2 million or something like that. And we have the cash, like we have the money to do this. That right there makes sense. So you think about the money we'll have to extend them with, right? And because we have to extend them, like we shouldn't give up a first round pick because we have to pay him. So that already takes first round pick off the table. So now we have two first round picks. I don't want to give up both of them. I'll give up one, and that'll be my first offer, right? I'm going to extend them. I'm going to pay him. Here's the 40th pick. If they don't like it, well, give us one of the thirds. Okay, cool. He was 40 and 100, and that's it. Right? If you want more, then I'm probably more than likely going to bow out. No, because I think, like I said, this is a very rich draft. This is a very rich draft. All right, so that's the money and the compensation part. Then now it comes to the deep wide receiver class. I agree. Like this wide receiver class is projected to be great. It's deep, all different types of receivers, whatever you're looking for. There are comps all over the place. It's probably 15 plus wide receivers that can have an immediate impact next year in this draft. But again, we are dealing with the known versus the projection. Like I know who Aiyuk is. I know he could be a core player. I know what he's going to bring to this team. But then you have the other guys that might be there, like a Keon Coleman, Lad Conklin, the kid Xavier Worthy, Xavier Leggett. Like you have all of those guys that you don't know what they're going to be. It's only a projection. So that's what you have to decide, right? Known, what I know versus what is projected. How often have we come into draft classes saying this specific position is the best position group all time? It happens every single year. And oftentimes those position groups does not live up to the hype. And we have to be careful of that. Even though the players are better this year, it's a higher number early as in the wide receivers. And I think this is the last quote unquote COVID year. That's why even a lot of these receivers are a little older. And we always talk about the age, but we don't talk about the age with the wide receivers, but that's a different conversation. So that's what that part is. So when you talk about what's in this draft compared to, Aiyuk, a lot of people saying, hey, look, let's not use draft capital. Let's just get one of these wide receivers. I get it. I understand it. But again, it's the known versus what's projected. And if I can pay the money and we just went over what the salary cap number will look like and the compensation will look like, I'm going to take Brandon Aiyuk. And then the conversation comes up about, are we in a win now mode? He doesn't fit our timetable. I don't really know what that means. Like whose timetable are we referring to? Are we referring to Dan Quinn timetable, or are we referring to Adam Peters timetable? Because even though Dan Quinn got a 5-year deal, doesn't mean he's automatically gonna get fired. We see that every year all over the NFL. These coaches have 2 to 3 years to compete, right? Getting let me see. Getting to the playoffs keeps your job, right? Being a Super Bowl contender extends your job, right? Getting to the playoffs keeps your job. Being a Super Bowl contender extends your job, right? So if I'm getting to the playoffs, if I get to the playoffs year 2, year 3, more than likely I'm going to see my 5 years. But when that 4 or 5 years come, if my roster and my coaching staff is not built to contend for a Super Bowl, there's a chance I might not get extended. If all I'm doing is getting to the playoffs, getting put out first round, or maybe winning a wild card. This is just what the NFL is. Like, this is what the NFL is, bro. Like, it's like you these coaches, these head coaches understand that. Like, understand they don't have 5. That's why Dan Quinn continuously say, I'm not saying that we're a rebuild. We are recalibrating. Right. And I'm not saying that they were supposed to go all in and go sign all these high price free agents. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, you still do that, but you still have that mindset that I'm going to win. I'm going to put together the best team that I can possibly do. And if bringing in someone like Aiyuk, because think of Bobby Wagner, he was a free agent, right? And we brought him in. If you telling me he definitely does not fit our timetable, and he's going to be the starting linebacker, he's probably the number one free agent signing. He doesn't fit our timetable, so why even sign him if I'm worried about the timetable? That doesn't make any sense to me, right? Let me see. Smoke. Go ahead. Go ahead, Smoke. Go ahead, Smoke. Easy. If we get Aiyuk with his contract, Terry contract, and Jahan's contract running to each other. So Terry has 2 more years in his deal. I think his cap hit this year is around 23, and next year it goes up a couple million. Jahan, let me see. So Jahan is going into his 3rd year, right? So we still have a full year to decide if we're going to exercise his 5th year, but then we have a whole year for his 4th year, right? So his contract is really worry about for 3 years, right? Terry's maybe next year if you want to extend. Terry's 29, about to be 30, right? So you might not want to extend Terry after next year. So now you're just stuck with Jahan. If you bring in Aiyuk, you have this receiver room solidified for at least the next 5 years, right? So that's another thing about bringing them in and thinking ahead. And you have a rookie quarterback. So for at least 5 years, this is where you want to, do it like be smart, be aggressive, but be smart. And if you want to pay people, this is the time. This is the time to do it. This is the time to pay people, right? So that's where that's where we are with their contracts, right? Yes, they'll all kind of they're all kind of be on the books at the same time. Like we were talking about earlier, it might be a cap hit of maybe 12 to 13, especially if it's structured how Devonta Smith deal is structured, like Terry deal was structured, smaller cap hits in the beginning, larger towards the end of the deals, where you can start looking at extending those deals. And then you have Jahan, who's going to be on his rookie deal for the next 3 years at least. So you can work all 3 of those contracts for the next 2 years. And if you want to move on from Terry, you got your solidified number 1. Some people don't believe Terry is a number 1. We're not going to have that conversation. But Aiyuk automatically, he's a number 1 receiver. No doubt. He's top 7 in the league. So, what's up, Radar? Jamal, what's up, man? Glad you could stop by, man. Shout out Trap or Die Podcast, man. We've been talking about them all week. And man, about the big week they had last week, man. Lewis Riddick, Adam Schefter, RG3. Big week last week, man. They changed the batting odds with that clip. People mad at them, the May fans mad at them. Look, y'all need to watch the Trap or Dive and act and see exactly what Schefter said, not just what was clipped. He literally said the same thing he's been saying for the last couple weeks, but definitely shout out them, man. Trap or Dive, man. And Jamal too, man. Like he helped me a lot, when I kind of started out. And he's always has an open door policy, man, for me to reach out with any questions or anything, man. So definitely appreciate him. See, at the end of the day, fans may see and say one thing, but these coaches in front, like we don't know. And that's another thing when we talk about the draft, about these boards. Like, we don't know. Like, the national media have their boards. You may have your board. I have my board. The local media, everybody got these boards, and they determine if a player is a reach or to steal based on consensus. But one thing I know is nobody but this team or all of the individual teams, their front office, their scouts are specifically scouting what they need for their team from top to bottom, specifically for their team. The national media and those the pundits that do the draft, the Mel Kipers and all those guys, they're doing it for all 32 teams. So how could they possibly have that much time to understand exactly what we need from the top of the roster to the bottom of the roster? Yeah, I need a quarterback. Duh. My daughter know we need a quarterback, and she don't even watch football. Right? You'll know a team need a wide receiver because they don't have a number one wide receiver. So that's like, duh. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, how can we really, you can judge the board, right? You can judge their picks, this, and that. But how do we really know there are reaches to them? They have done more work on this specific player than probably any of the national guys have done, especially when you get further outside of the top 100, right? So we just got to be mindful of that, man. We will never know what our team's board look like ever, right? Man, Tally was talking how much you would pay. Like for me, I don't know my wife had. I pay like $2,000. I pay like $2,000, bro, to get in the room. I don't need my phone or nothing. Just let me get in the war room for like 2 hours just to see that process. I would love to see that process. I would love to see that board. I would love to see, the names up on the dry erase board. I would love to see that. Y'all in the comments, like if y'all can, how much would y'all be willing to pay to be in a war room on day one of the draft night for like 2 hours? What would y'all be willing to pay? What's up, Timothy? From on time to Ben. That's all right, man. I'm glad you're here, bro. Benjamin, what's good, man? I think it's wide receivers in the second round better than Aiyuk. Who, Benjamin? Who are you? Who? Tell me who. I was told the rookie contract was the most valuable. Right. Yeah, right. It is. Let's see what you gonna be drinking on during the draft. Probably ice water. I might get a couple Gatorades because we starting at like 7:38 and we're gonna just go throughout the whole first round. Because I think we're gonna jump back in the first round. Look at Carlton. Hey, look, man. I got to, man. What's up, Hawk? What's your dream scenario for us at tackle? Look, yeah, Carter said 2 to 4K, man. That's a once in a man. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Once in a lifetime experience, man. I will pay that money. Whatever my military discount. Yo, what's up, Unc? What's up, Unc? But yeah, man, but like that's where I am as far as trading for a receiver like Brandon Aiyuk, right? Those are all the different scenarios about the pros and cons of trading for someone like, but this is the NFL. This is a win now league, and you need to win in a hurry. There's no right way to do this. Every team goes through years of being bad until they finally are good, right? So, but there's no blueprint, right? You can't like download the blueprint to create a foundation, develop your players year one, year two. We look good. Let's get all these players. Let's now begin to sign all these high priced players. Go to the playoffs. Year three, the year one rookies have developed. We got better. So now let's get in a couple more guys, and we're in the like NFC Championship game, and then year four we're in the Super Bowl. No, it doesn't. It does not work like that. This is the NFL. It does not work like that. Yes, you can find teams that have done it that way, but it's not all of them. It's a couple maybe. But this is the NFL. There's no blueprint to winning. What you want to do, you want to set up to be a what they call it, sustainable success. And sustainable success in the NFL is not winning the Super Bowl every year. That's a dynasty, right? The Chiefs is looking at a dynasty. The Patriots were a dynasty, right? Winning multiple Super Bowls over multiple years, right? Teams like the Cowboys have sustainable success, right? The Eagles showing sustainable success. Those teams are showing that sustainable success by being over 400 with opportunity to win a division and get into a wild card every single year. That's sustainable success. So as an organization, I want to have sustainable success. I want to be able to be in a position to win our division and to get a wild card game every year. But that's for the organization, right? But for the coaching staff, it changes because the coaching staff is, you can't just keep going wild card. Like I said, the playoffs keeps your job. You'll get to 5 years getting into the playoffs. Playoffs keeps your job, but being in Super Bowl contention, that's what's going to extend your job, right? That's going to get you the highest paid head coach in the league, like Andy Reid is about to get, right? Yep. So that's that. Let's see. Exactly. I need that veterans deal. Hey, Kim, how are you? Jeff said they better not. What's up, Unc? Said they better not. Will say typically it seems you see teams push all the chips in year two. But like, what does that mean though? Like, how do I know it's time to push all the chips in? Like the Texans, they had a great year last year, right? A lot of things fell their way. They competed, quarterback hit, but they say there's a sophomore slump. So do they go in and put all their chips in now? I don't know, man. Give me any of the Xaviers and AD Mitchell. Bro, none of them dudes is better than Brandon Aiyuk. AD Mitchell, neither one of the Xaviers. Xavier Worthy is only him because of he has the record at the 40, but he drops tons of passes. He's definitely not Aiyuk, Benjamin. That's why I don't see them trading for Aiyuk now. What would you give up for T. Higgins after drafting Jayden? It is a similar conversation. I think T. Higgins is going to be a little more. They're around the same age. Yeah, it's probably the same that I think about it. Yeah, I'd rather have Aiyuk though. I'd rather have Aiyuk than T. Higgins. T. Higgins comes with a lot of injuries too. He's been pretty banged up these last couple years. So I'd rather have Aiyuk, but I think the conversation will be the same. That's right. We want winners. I just want to be an exciting team, a respectable team, and at a minimum, yeah, like that's it. Like, I don't want to be no dark horse though. Like, I want to be known. I want to be seen as a playoff team every year, a division winner. I want to be seen like that coming into every season, that this team could be in the playoffs. Like, I'm tired of the sneaking up on people and being in and sneaking in and people not looking out for us, and we sneak up on people. Nah, man, I want to come straight in the front door. this is who we are. This is what y'all gonna get used to it for the next 10, 15 years. This is who we are, right? Y'all seen us as horrible for the last 30 plus years, but this is who we are now. We coming in, and more than likely we're going to get to the playoffs. So you better hope things go wrong for us. Like, that's where I want us to be eventually. I like to be in the playoffs, but over the wild card spot. Yeah, man. Yep. I agree, Kim. Yep. I like Aiyuk. Not a lot, Ree. What's up, Duran? I don't think Aiyuk is out of the picture. We could see a draft day trade, but that said, I really want to get Johnny Wilson from Ashley. Yeah, like I said, man, so it's a ton of receivers with talent. A lot of them. It's over 15 that could be day one contributors. But again, y'all, it's the known versus the unknown, right? I know who Aiyuk is. I've seen him multiple years. He's in his prime, looking for a second contract. And then it's this guy coming from college. He's projected to be great, but I don't know. History has let me down so many times with these drafts telling me that this is the best whatever at this position. So I don't know, man. Like, it's a thing, but I'm not mad if we do. Like, we may hit. It's all good. I get it. Hey, Smoke, get on YouTube, Smoke. Let me see. I need our fans to get through the yeah, man. We moving different now, but you can't blame them. And I think Jayden Daniels and this whole Jayden Daniels and Drake Maye thing is not making that part of it any better, right? Because you got, and it's like that movie Focus with Will Smith. I don't know if y'all seen that movie Focus, but towards in the beginning, like the first quarter of the movie or whatever, when he was betting with the guy at the football game, and how he explained to her how he knew to make that last bet that he was going to win. He said the perception and putting something in front of somebody's face every day, all day, eventually is going to focus their mind on that number or that face. That's just what it's going to do. It's going to focus your mind on that number or your face. So in this instance, when you think about Jayden Daniels and what he's done and how he does it, because of RG3, we have this subconscious thinking that I never got closure off of that season, right? Like, he was not supposed to end the way that he ended. He was not supposed to end the way that he ended, right? So when you see that, you think him. And then when you think about Sam Howell, you think Sam Howell, UNC quarterback, right? UNC quarterback, UNC white quarterback. And when you see Drake Maye and they best friends, so you see them all the time in public. For the most part, they're standing right next to each other. They're always with each other, right? And all of this you see consistently, constantly for the last at least half a year plus. So subconsciously, it's like when you think Drake Maye, you're thinking Sam Howell, right? When you're thinking Jayden Daniels, you're thinking RG3, because RG3 did something that NFL probably has never seen that year, right? It was crazy, man. We supposed to go to the Super Bowl. No one could had an answer for that offense. No one had an answer for it. So that right there, you kind of hold on to, and I think like this is where we can get back to. Like, this is continuing that story if we're able to get this kid. And to be honest, like, he's very electrifying, right? And I think if anybody could do it, he can. Like, man, you watching, just like he said on that interview, man, he could take an 80 at any point in time. And that's the differences between him and Maye. We're gonna talk, probably talk more about that later with them two. But when we had conversations about the two, sometimes when the Mayers is looking at Jayden Daniels, they only looking at him as a runner. And when the Danieletts is looking at the Mayers, they're only looking at him as a passer. but they both are mobile quarterbacks. Like they both can run, they both can get out the pocket or whatever. But there was an interesting stat that Smoke said earlier about pocket escapability, right? Like Drake Maye is so far greater than Jayden Daniels in that. But on the flip side, he also throws more interceptions than Jayden Daniels. So, but I think both of them. But the difference between them getting out of the pocket is like if Drake Maye has a lane, like he may get you 8, 12, get your first down. But if Jayden has that same lane, he probably get you 30 or take it to the house, bro. Like that's the difference when you talk about comparing them to as far as runners is concerned. Let me see me go through. Have the refs respect us and my dream. I don't know. We'll see come next season, and we'll see how the NFL feels about us on Thursday night because last year they had commercials every time we picked. So, but I definitely know they ain't gonna do that with the second pick. So, but we'll see how they move on day 2. AJ Brown went out. I thought they would trade to us, but it happened with D-Jax before. Did we trade for Deshaun Jackson? Or was he a free agent? I don't remember. But AJ Brown said he's cool. So I don't know. But yeah, Benjamin, if you're gonna trade for AJ Brown, you trade for Aiyuk. It's hard to do to do that right now, Smoke. Because I think this is a pivotal time in our franchise. Only way up is now. Thursday with a turn. Yes, like this is very pivotal in our franchise because I don't think this pick only has to do with on field. I think this is also or football related. I think it's also business. I think this pick is business related, right? Because you need someone that's marketable for what we're trying to do. This is not like a normal situation, right? We're trying to regain one of the most powerful fan bases in any sport. We're trying to regain that back. We're trying to bring that energy back, that vibe back. We're trying to bring that back, right? You're trying to get sponsors, right? You're trying to bring energy back in the DMV area where football is number one above all without question, right? So you need to put somebody face everywhere. You need somebody face on the metro bus. You need somebody face on the metro train. You need somebody face on, welcome to DC, welcome to the monument pamphlets and maps that you get downtown, right? You need somebody face at Dulles Airport, right? Decals and billboards at Dulles, at Reagan, at BWI, right? You need somebody face down there at VCU, at Busch Gardens. You need somebody face at King's Dominion, right? You need somebody's face everywhere, right? You need somebody's face on TV, on commercials. You need to put another face on Ben's Chili Bowl wall. Like you need a face. You need somebody to do that. Who is going to do that? Is Drake Maye going to do that? Is Jayden Daniels going to do that? Right? Like which one of those guys can do that? Which one of those guys can do the football part and the business part? Because as Josh owned, and we're going to talk about something about that in a couple minutes. And we're talking a lot. You might not get to the nightcap and stuff interview. We might try to do that tomorrow. But that's a business decision. That's a business decision. Like, who am I going to market? Right? Who is that quarterback that I can take to these Smoke know about these different galas and parties and dinners and all that stuff that go on downtown. Like, which one of these players am I going to bring with me? Like, all that matters, man. All that matters. You're right. It's funny that Drake Maye's camp has been very quiet. Yeah, I mean, I think they all been kind of quiet. I mean, outside of the whole liking and the emoji part, I mean, outside of that, it's been pretty quiet. Um, 2 Gs will only get you in the same hallway. And everyone that kind of came late, the question was, we was talking about war rooms, and boards, and draft boards that we'll never be able to see what any NFL team's draft board look like. So, we talk about steals and stuff like that, but like, how much would you willing to pay? I said 2,000. Some people said 2 to 4. Some people, said 4, so it's a military discount. So we were just asking, how much would you willing to pay to spend 2 hours in a war room on day one of the draft with no phone or nothing, just to be able to experience that? What's up, Kirk? What's up, Dustin? With the Super Bowl, like 5 to 10. It'll be out about that range. What you mean, Dustin? Like getting to a Super Bowl or being Super Bowl competitive? That's what you mean? What is the difference between Lamar and Patrick? One got a rack of Super Bowls, one don't. But they both is the same off the field. They both are marketable. Or maybe you be a little more clear about the question. You're going to be shocked when we trade. And that's the thing. Like, this is the person, like, he's another one. Like Caleb Williams, like, the marketing part for him will be very interesting just based off of what we know, from different reports and stuff like that. But hey, like, he's overall number one now. I mean, ever since they've traded Justin Fields, he's the overall number one choice. You don't really hear anything about him not being number one. And if they don't take him at number one, Ryan Poles is probably going to get fired and he won't make it to day 2 of the draft. And he probably won't pick number 9 if he doesn't take Caleb. Trey said, what about with Flip if I don't see Chicago giving it up? Yeah, man, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy if they don't do that. Tim, when you see J.J. McCarthy, you see Joe Montana. That's probably why YouTube is not is messing your notifications up, because of your JJ McCarthy love, Timothy. Okay, Kim said they didn't we signed them. They cut him. Deshaun Jackson. Yep. Yeah, Chip Kelly. That was crazy. JD, RG3, Terry, Garcon, Jahan, Santana, B. Rob Morris, Cliff Kyle. We missing out D-Jax and Jordan Reed. We need it back. Those are good little comparisons, Benjamin. I ain't mad at it. But that Jahan Santana, like, he got a little ways to get there. We'll see what happens though. But yeah. I wanted Caleb, but at this point, we be chasing waterfalls. Yep, and don't go chasing them. Terry's face was at Cap's game. Oh, they got a picture of him, Kim, like a poster. These quarterbacks handle when the family turns on them, because we will turn. Yeah, I mean, can they? I mean, where's the adversity? I mean, I know y'all saw Master P letter, Michael Penix Jr. letter about adversity, right? So I know he can. I mean, look at Jayden. I mean, he went through a lot at ASU, right? They had a whole lot of drama there. So you can see he's gone through some adversity. I think Drake Maye is probably the only one that really hasn't. I'm not saying that everything has been given to him, but I don't think there's too much adversity there with him. He's like, what, 27 and no, like 62-2 or something like that since high school. So there's just not a lot of adversity with him. I want Washington to become the franchise where no matter where you go, there's Commander fans. And I think we have that. Like, I think the Commander fans are all over the world. But, we just got to, what is it? Revive it. We just got to revive it. And that's going to take winning, right? That's going to take winning, to really revive that wherever you go. Because the more and more you see Commander, like, you see the R's and you see the The command, like you starting to see more and more of it when you go to the grocery store, right? When that other guy was in office, you ain't see nothing in grocery stores. But now you got gear and your Safeways, your shoppers, your Giants, your Aldis, your Food Lines, wherever y'all may be that go, you starting to see those jerseys everywhere now. I don't think we really turned our backs on any quarterback since RG3, to be honest. Uh, I need a Commanders log video for the draft. I'm quite sure there will be one for sure. I'm quite sure there will be one. We did one last year, remember, Benjamin? Nobody ever really played long enough to since him and Kurt to even be in the convo. Yeah. Yeah. They going through. Let's see. If the Super Bowl $5,000 to $6,000 for ooh. Man. Them Super Bowl tickets is crazy, bro. Like, if we got a chance to go there, man. What's up, Mo? Simba was given 10 games before fans were ready to ship him out. Yeah, this fan base is tough, man. And not having good leadership makes it even worse. Not having good leadership makes it even worse. Nah, I don't really think he did either. He hates JJ McCarthy. Lamar hasn't been the best player at the biggest moments, and Patrick has. So I'm hoping JD is more Patrick than Lamar, or JD is more JD. Right? Like, it's tough giving these players comp because it automatically tells you that they have to at least match that, and I just don't think it's fair. I mean, we're talking about a Super Bowl quarterback, multiple Super Bowl quarterback, a multiple MVP in Lamar, been in the Baltimore market. That's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Even for us fans, just for us fans to put those comps on them is a lot. It's a lot for us because that's a lot to expect from a player that hasn't played a down at all in the NFL. A lot of folks didn't think he was ready to start when he did it. Yeah. I got a message. Jayden. That's fair. Gerald, they having a little conversation. He threw out a football after he signed it. Oh, okay. That was cool. Yeah, we got a bunch of placeholders. Yeah, I agree with Trail on this one, Mo. Like, I think he had like a Jason Campbell type thing. I mean, he was a little younger, he's more sassy. I think they could have marketed him. But I don't think I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I can't really put my hand on. Commanders are a sleeping giant of an organization, and when we win, this fan base will be crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Which quarterback? That's a good question. I don't know if any of them do. I'm talking about Dan. Like, Dan Quinn is like a like a Dan Campbell type guy, and I don't think Jayden or May are like that. She might not, but Master P probably. But I don't think any of them are. But who you think? Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Benjamin. Yeah, that's what yeah, Mo. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Get to the show. So much it's so much to get win a championship, man. That's like when we talk about the Herbert thing, it's people saying, like, what has he won? I mean, what has a lot of quarterbacks won? Right? Like, it's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah, everybody saying Pitt. Look at Deron talking about May. How Deron? How is he like that and Quinn? But yeah, man, like, man, it's so much to talk about, man. I got so much. So I didn't even get a chance to talk about I didn't even get a chance to talk about the interviews that they had. But please, y'all, like, come back, follow. I know all of you like share it out there. Definitely, like I said, we're going to be back every day for the next couple weeks. and we started Saturday, so it's definitely so much to talk about. Yep, and we're going all the way to the 5th. We're gonna be rocking every day, every day, every day, every day. I ain't gonna lie, a combo of a burgundy do-rag and a Bengals cap might be crazy. They like Jordans and Raising King. Just because you wear Jordan don't make you a certain, like I've seen a lot of people wear Jordans that don't look like the other person that wear Jordan, so or don't have that demeanor. You already said JJ is more like Quinn. He has a sneaky dog in him. But Quinn is not sneaky with it though. Like this is just like Dan Quinn. This is who he is. He ain't sneaky with it. That's a little different. But yeah, I got to get out of here, y'all. I definitely appreciate you all spending your time. I know your time is very valuable. And for you spend it with me, I definitely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love. Appreciate y'all, man.